Welcome to our Myositis Do-It-Yourself Accessibility Adaptations with MSU member Larry M. This is one in the series of webinars for the Myositis Awareness Month, and it's sponsored by Myositis Support and Understanding, or MSU as we all call it. It is a patient-centered, all-volunteer 501c3 nonprofit organization. We serve the myositis community, patients, care partners, and family members living with myositis, which is a cluster of different conditions, also known as the idiopathic inflammatory myopathies. Our Awareness Month theme this year is MSU helps our members see the forest as well as the trees. It's a little bit of a play on the old idiom. And in other words, we're trying to show that we are stronger together. And once you find MSU, you will never be alone again, because our people and our programs are here to help provide strength and support. If you don't know me yet, I am Emily Fillmore. I'm one of the founding co-directors, and I'm currently a board advisor and volunteer for MSU. I'm also the author of The Marvelous Transformation, Living Well with Autoimmune Disease. I have had dermatomyositis for 26 years, and I am so proud to be part of MSU because of the amazing resources that we are able to provide that didn't exist for the first, 19, 18 years that I had dermatomyositis until I met Jerry Williams, our founder and president, who just met a second ago. We have so many educational and support options and programs for our members, including the Patient Assistance Program, which provides financial assistance to people with myositis for travel, for medical experts in myositis, for emergency medical expenses, medical bills, and more recently we added mobility and medical assistive devices. And finally, we advocate for the myositis community in the medical and research areas. And more about our programs can be found at understandingmyositis.org. Before I introduce our special guest, I just want you to remember that our session is being recorded, as Jerry said, and it will be posted to social media later, so that you can always go back and review it. So with me tonight, Jerry is on the call. He is the founder and president, and Jason Hopfoff is one of our volunteers. And I saw Angela Chami Diaz, and I'm sorry if I'm missing any of our other volunteers. I'm not doing that on purpose, but I only have a limited screen that I can see.
Penny Bundy,
So
our
Larry
treasurer,
sent
is
me a note.
here.
Oh, good. Penny's here. She must not be on the front screen for me. So I apologize, Penny. Penny is very, very important to us, especially with the financial assistance program. That is one of our most important and popular programs. So thank you, Penny, for being here. So Larry sent me a little note about his journey with myositis. He says, I was diagnosed with IBM in 2019, but have been living with it for 10 to 12 years. I've always exercised and tried to maintain a level of fitness. IBM has made that difficult in many ways, but I've tried to adapt things to help me continue doing so. In 2013, I ran a half marathon, and today 100 yards would be nice. But we continue to do all I can via weights and a stationary bike. The doctor who diagnosed me said that I am still as functional as I am because of what I've done in the past, and to never stop doing what works for me. Let's see. The reason that we asked Larry to do this seminar for us is that whenever he brings out his little MacGyver and Inspector Gadget little gadgets, everybody is always a rapt audience in our support groups. So video support groups, I'm sorry, I just lost a word. So we approached Larry and said, you have to do this during Myositis Awareness Month. This would be great. So we brought him along, and we think that you're going to enjoy it. So please join me in welcoming Larry, who is going to show us all of his gadgets and what keeps him young besides fishing and Bass Pro Shop. So take it away, Larry.
All right. Like many of you, trying to write with a normal little pen has become more of a hassle than it is so I have a few things I use. If you can't see, let me know. This is called a pen again. It's exactly what it's called online. It's called a pen again. And what you do is you put your finger through there, and then your other finger sits here, and then you can write, like without having the trying to hold it, because it's automatically in there.
So as many of you know, that grip, right, Larry, I'm sorry.
You're fine. No, yeah.
Your grip, because of the IBM and how it progresses in the hand, can't hold that pen like you used to be able to. You don't have that pinching ability, right?
Yeah, we got crab claws. So these things called pen again come into that favor. And it's just like a regular pen. You just push it. If you're done, you can put the end back out. So it's, and you can write fairly well with it. I write best with a bobber. Become fishing. This is available at any local Walmart. It's just called a slip bobber. There's a lot of bobbers have springs. This has a hole through the middle of it. And what's nice about it is when you hold it, you have this much in your hand, so it actually holds. And you can take any dollar store, just plain pen, stick it in the end of the slip bobber, easier said than done. And then now you have a pen that you can actually hang on to. And can you all see that pretty well? It's blurry to me, but
I can see it. Yes,
okay.
thank you. That's amazing. So you just took the inside of that pen out of a
I just took it out of this pen right now. Okay. And you just take this, like I said, there's a hole in the bottom of it. And then you just put the insert. Now you have to watch, some pens have bigger, but if you find one that works for you, like you go to Walmart, take one of these with you, because Walmart has several different sizes of these things. And all you got to do is find one that this will slide in, and then you just shove it in there and you're good to go. So I can write pretty well with that, like just a regular, because I'm hanging on to something that's that big instead of that little pen.
That's great. I know that I've also seen pens that my friends have purchased for me that are kind of exactly like that, but you can buy them in advance. But they just have a really fat hold on them, so you grip them better. So those are also out there as well. Thank you.
I bought the Dr. Grip pen, and they're like $7 a piece, but they like to puke. And so I don't really, it's nice that they have that, big fat thing on it, but they always seem to get too much ink at the end of the pen. So you make more mess than it's worth. So.
Right. You certainly don't need to waste your energy cleaning up a mess.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what do you have next for us?
This is for people who can't eat with silverware. So this is silverware. If you can see that.
Sure can.
When you set it down, it leaves so you can pick it up. It's just called adaptive silverware. I found these on eBay. You get a knife, a knife. Let me hurt myself. A spoon and a fork, and I think they were $12 a piece for the 3 set. And that's been a game changer for me, because I've seen other people have gloves that you slide that into, and then you kind of got to eat like that. But this, you can still use a fork like a fork, because it has a stopper on it, and it's pretty neat. And I would recommend them to anybody who can't hang on to silverware. The rest of my stuff is technically exercise. Let me put this on. This is a glove I bought. They're on eBay. It's everything I find is on Adaptive Hands, but this is just a very light kind of glove with a Velcro wrap. And then what you do, so you can exercise your fingers, is you stick these are Velcro, and then you put them on there. Now I can only do it this way. I can't do it the other way because I don't have any closure grip, but you can actually make your, and then open your hand, you know, or push against that. So you get access. It'll pull it back down by itself, but I got it a little tight right here. But
Now, are those rubber bands that you have Velcroed on there?
well, I bought them this way. It's called
Oh,
Adaptations.
okay. The whole glove comes that way.
Yeah, and
Oh, okay.
I got both sides, but you know, and then try that one more time. And then you just open your hand, and then pull it back and open your hand. And I try to do this, you know, like 100 times, you know, every other day. I mean, it's, you know, it's just something you can do, you know. And I have this finger still works, you know, and so I have, but like these two, they're just along for the ride. But, you know, it does give you some kind of hand strengthening device, you know. So
That's one that I haven't seen yet.
yeah, yeah. So it's kind of neat. And the other one I liked better, I use this one probably more, is this. Now I got these on eBay, and I got a pair of them, I think, for like $15. Now this you can, I got to remember to put my hand where people, you can actually close it like a hand gripper. But now right here is at the lowest setting. But if you turn this dial, you can turn this up so you can't even move it, you know. You just figure out which way to go, you know. And but this will slide down here, and the further it goes, the more attention it gets, you know. So, but that's really nice because I have these, my originals. Everybody's seen one of these, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now when I do this, there's nothing I can do with that. So this is a waste of my time, you know. I can maybe get a 1/4 inch, but if you can adjust it like this, then you can at least work it, you know. I mean, you can tighten it up till it's just where you can move it or can't move it. So I like these, you know, one in each hand while you're watching TV, you know.
Now, do you do those in addition to the gloves?
Yeah, I do these more than the gloves, I would suppose. I've kind of getting away from the gloves and using these because I can actually, you know, but the gloves is a different muscle because I'm opening my hand, and this one I'm closing my hand. So if that makes sense, you know.
Right, it does.
Yeah, that's great.
You know, so yeah. But
Larry, we had a question in the chat and I answered it, but I just wanted to ask afterwards, would you mind sending me a note with the names of all of these so we can publish that with the video?
Sure.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, where to go to now? Okay, we're still on the hands. We'll go to the hands. These are, I don't know what they are. I think they're hacky sack balls. But if you ever watch Joe, Myositis Joe, he folds up plastic bags like jewel bags in his hands. Well, a plastic jewel bag in my hand is useless, you know. So, but these you can roll, you can put them on the on and roll your hand around, you know, and actually get, you know, I can still hold the fishing rod pretty good. And that's, I have this, so I guess that's part of it. But this came back to me. It was, my left hand doesn't, the little finger doesn't close. But I've actually managed my right hand to get a little better, you know. So, but like a jewel bag though, it's just, there's nothing there. And here you can actually squeeze, grip, you know. One guy at work gave me some Play-Doh, you know. I'm like, yeah, that's wonderful too, but you know, it's Play-Doh, you know.
Right. It's nice that they were thinking of you, though.
Yeah, um,
Now, so you just mentioned that you've been able to get that pinky finger
well,
back.
it's gotten better, I mean,
Yes.
it used
Wow.
to be like this one, but now it's actually, I can close it. Now it's kind of weird that I can, this hand, I can touch my index finger to my palm, but this hand, I'm quite a ways away, so I don't know, it's kind of weird. As a fisherman, we use pocket knives a lot, and I don't know about any of you guys. One of these pocket knives with this little bitty indent right there for our thumb and fingernail is absolutely useless to me. I don't have an, I can get it, but it's tough. Now they make a new kind of one that you can open just like that, and it's not illegal. It's not a switchblade, but it's got a thumb bar on it. Let me get up here. Are we in there? Yeah. Yeah, I can't see where I'm at. Okay. See
Yep.
this little metal thing?
Yep.
It's on both sides. And all you have to do is push that with your thumb that actually most of us still have. So that's just something simple if you hadn't seen it.
That's
Yes.
interesting. I've tried to open one and I'm so afraid that it's going to snap back and cut me.
Well,
Like the
this
old
one,
kind.
but this one, once you open it, you can't close it. It's got a lock blade to it. This is at Bass Pro for $6.99, but it works well. You just got a little button right here. All my thumbs work great, so everything I use is just from that. You push the thumb, you close the knife.
Nice.
But with these other things that you have that little indent, I don't have the finger strength to open it. This one's kind of cool. It's got a hole in it, so you can open it. So, different stuff. So,
It's great to see different things and how much thought when you're going through that, how much thought you need to put into it in order to make the adaptations to use different things.
Yeah. Okay. Now this next feature is tape. This is called friction tape, hockey stick tape, baseball bat tape, whatever. It's sticky on both sides. So when you're doing something, you have grip. So let me grab this. Now this is a 10-pound weight. Okay. And I have it wrapped in friction tape. So with this, I can actually turn it upside down and not have any hassle or afraid to drop it. Without the friction tape there, I would drop it. So I have friction tape on everything I own almost. I have it on fishing rod handles. I have it on my exercise machine, on all the parts of it, but just that little piece of tape gives you, even with 2 fingers, it gives you a grip. Sometimes it's a little messy depending on how hot it is. So I wear these. This actually helps too because it gets grip on the gloves. These are dollar gloves from like Walmart, and when I put them on, I have on my machine behind me, I actually have all kinds of equipment, and I put friction tape on the handles, and this is like a pull down, and without the friction tape, I don't have enough grip to hang on to that because I usually pull down about 30 pounds. And then with the gloves and the friction tape, you got a pretty good grip because it'll hang on all by itself, Any questions?
I think
getting
it's amazing to find something like that, and then just we see a lot of people that have kind of embraced their creativity in other ways, and seeing it like this, it's just, I think it can be life changing for so many people who are afraid to do the exercises that you're talking about because of that. And this might give them a way to further their exercise program while talking with your doctor and physical therapist first, though, please.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you think you could put that grip tape on a cane, Larry? Would that help with holding your
it
cane?
gives you grip is what it does, so now
Thank
this
you.
here is this is for a weight machine if anybody has a cable machine or a pulley. And a lot of people, when they do triceps, you pull down, but when your fingers don't close, and this here has this plate right here. So when you hang on to it, even if you only have your hand and thumb, it can't go anywhere and you won't lose it or drop it or fly out of your hand and hit you in the head, So that's kind of a pretty nice, because the other one is a rope. I don't know if you've seen the cable rope like you pull down with triceps. It's the same thing, but this one you won't let go and it won't let go of you. So I can do almost 40-pound pull down with this, but with the rope I can do about 25 pounds. Because I don't have to hang on to this. I'm using my palm of my hands to hold it right where it's at. So almost done, guys, for what I got. This is the next best thing since sliced bread. These are called iron hands, weightlifting bars. It's a steel. This is metal. This plate right here is metal. And you put it around your wrist. Now this can work as a lot of things. I don't know if any of you tried to start a lawnmower with these hands, but you can go to the hardware store and a lot of them now come with D-rings. My snowblower came with a D-ring, so you put your hand in it and pull, but that still doesn't help. But this will go right over that D-ring and you can pull that thing and you don't have to worry about it slipping out of your hands. Now, I use them for weightlifting, and I'll give you, this ain't to impress anybody, trust me. I'm gonna put a weight up here for a second. All right. So the weight I have here, let me maybe push this down, let go there. Okay. You see this? Yeah. Now this is 25 pounds. It's not a lot, but it's 25 pounds. But if you just try to hang on to it with your hands, I can do it, but.
Sorry, guys. While we're trying to get this fixed, if you guys have any devices or creativity, any devices that you've built or that you're thinking of building, other products that have come into your life that have made a change, feel free to raise your hand. And I see we have Blaine. Blaine, feel free to unmute yourself and go ahead. Welcome.
Thank you. I was having a lot of trouble getting out of bed. So I was starting to use blankets and whatnot to put under my butt to help me get up. And as some of you know, with IBM, that's kind of how you start with your chair, right? You put a pillow under and then another pillow and then another pillow till you have to get a lift chair. Well, that wasn't working so well. And my mom had asked me before she passed away last year. Before she passed away, she had asked my dad to come over here and measure the height of my bed. And he did. And he said he had no idea why she asked. But anyhow, fast forward, and I'm talking to my dad earlier this year about, getting out of bed and how hard it was getting to be. And he said he'd found these things out in the family room. There were wooden blocks. And he was wondering if we could raise the bed up with them. And he brought them over, and sure enough, they were 3-inch wooden blocks with holes cut in the top, and the bed caster fit perfectly in there. come to find out, they're for sale on Amazon. They're bed risers. You can get them in different sizes. These, I think, are 3 inches, but my mom must have bought those for me. And then when she got sick, she forgot to tell me, but they've been a lifesaver for, you know, for getting up out of bed. I can get up out of bed now without any help. And like I said, you can get those on Amazon. There's different shapes and sizes. And then Larry was talking about someone had given him putty. You can also go to Amazon, and there is hand putty. They, you know, a lot of athletes do use putty for hand strength by manipulating it. But the neat thing about the stuff that comes from Amazon, here, let me see if I can show you, is it comes in 4 different, I don't know what the word is, toughness is, viscosity. So hold on one second.
And while you're getting that, Blaine, I'm going to post some putty exercises for IBM patients in the chat section. It's a PDF that was sent to us, and I would like to share that with you guys as well. And Larry is back, so once Blaine shows us his things, we'll get back to Larry for a moment.
He mentioned friction tape. There's also something called skateboard tape. And this is great to put under your shoes or on the garage floor. When I'm not driving anymore, but when I was driving, I get out of the car and I'd have to brace myself on the door and on the armrest and then kind of pull myself up. And to do that, if your feet slip, you're kind of in trouble. So you can put that friction tape down on the cement and your shoes aren't going to slide anywhere. And you can use it, you know, pretty much anywhere. Same thing if you're getting up out of a chair, even a lift chair, you can get in an old or a new doormat. You can put a couple pieces of that on there and, you know, plant your feet right there, and it works great. And I got to say, I've had those hand things for weights that Larry's talking about, and I forgot all about them until he mentioned it. I've got a couple out in the garage somewhere, so I've got to dig those out because I used to use those for like opening my car door, you know, the kind of handles that pull out when I could no longer do that, and it would unleash the door, and I'd have enough strength to open the door without smashing. Am I still on?
There you go. Now you're back on camera.
Oh, okay. And okay, I don't see myself, so I'm going to try to show you guys this.
Perfect. Yep, right there. Therapy putty. And it comes in, you said 4 different strengths.
Said I'm done. I was going to tell you about this guy I know I met on one of the other calls a couple months ago that developed this slip bobber for a pen, but then he shows up and he's the star of the show. So anyhow,
See, Larry, you're already infamous. How about it? All right, thank you so much.
Only the best for our people, Jerry. That's why we picked him, right?
That's right. Larry, welcome back. Sorry you had some tech difficulties there. We understand.
All right. Well, I was just about done. So let me do that again since I started. Okay. I said this is a 25-pound weight. And these hand things, they wrap to your wrist. So you're not actually using your hands, you're using your shoulders and bicep muscles and everything else. So I can lift this with my hands, you know, but if you put these bars around here, these steel hands, you don't have to worry about dropping anything because it won't go anywhere. You know?
That's impressive.
Yeah. So like I said, and if you have
snow blowers, newer ones come with a D handle. You just put this under there, you can rip that thing. I can't start a lawnmower with my hands, but I can with this, you know. So, and it
Now,
works.
do those have a specific name? Those the things on your hand, the wrists.
Yeah, they're called just weight lifter grips. When I do my overhead, like pull downs, you know, with my hands and them gloves, I can do 30 pounds, and it, you know, and even that gets a little hard to pull down. But when as I put these on here, you know, I mean, it's not connected to anything, but I can pull 40 to 50 pounds, you know, because I'm not going to drop it. It ain't going to fly away, you know. So these things are actually very great for a lot of things, you know. So hopefully all that will help somebody. Now the guy that was just on, I don't remember his name, mentioned a product last meeting, and I went and got it at Costco. And honestly, it's the best $13 I've spent in the last 12 years. And it's this stuff. It comes at Costco. It's liquid glucosamine. And I don't know what it does, but I walk down the stairs better. I walk up the stairs. I've been using it about 2 weeks now. And before, now this is to most people, that my fingers turned upwards like most of ours. And they were dead before, but I can honestly bend them down some now, which I couldn't before. And like trying to grip things right here, I actually have more strength. I don't, and this is the only difference I've had. So, you know, it's just an over-the-counter suppose. And he said he was on prednisone or something. And when he got off prednisone, he couldn't walk very well. But with this, he could. So I thought, duh, I'll give it a try. And it has hydrochloric acid or something in it. And I don't know if that's it or not. But it's in the last 2 weeks, it's made a difference in a lot of things for me. You know, fishing, I use nothing but fake bait. And when you stick a hook through something, I have technical problems with that.
While you're looking, I just want to add that, you know, I know that most of us know that if we're going to add any type of a supplement, that we want to be sure that our doctors know and our pharmacists know, because while they might be over the counter, that does not mean that they might not react with other medications or any sensitivities in your body. So please always be sure to talk with your doctors and add it to your medication list also, so that it's always, if you're in an emergency, it's on there so they know. There has been some reports of just some weird things happening with all natural products and interactions. So we just want to make sure that you're safe.
Yeah.
Back to you, Larry.
Okay. Simple things like before I like trying to hang on to this thing while putting a hook into it, I was having quite a bit of problems. But I got the wrong hook. But now I can actually hang on to it, thread it around the hook, you know, and voila, you know, it's done. That was quite a process before, you know. So now the only thing I have to do is, you know, so I'm just saying for somebody to, if it may help, you know, that's my thing here is help, you know. And the only thing, other thing I say is every morning I put this in my coffee. This is just collagen. It's a protein. Target sells it probably cheaper than anybody, but it's called bulletproof protein and bulletproof collagen. And while I worked, Without the bulletproof collagen, I would have a tough time walking all day. And with it, I do pretty good. And I can honestly say that I feel better when I take it. And so other than that, that's all I really have. Long story short, right?
Oh, it's
Larry, that
amazing.
was so good.
So many. Oh, go ahead. I think we were just about to say the same thing. I think you've already helped a lot of people. And we do have some questions, or maybe they want to share their own. But before we do take another question, Emily, did you have anything that you wanted to say before we start that?
Oh, I just wanted to say thank you to Larry. I know that, putting yourself out here as a fellow member is a big deal, and we really appreciate it. Like I said, when you've shared in the group before in the video support sessions, everybody's always loved it, and I really, really appreciate you taking the time to do it. It was a lot of fun. So thank you for sharing all of the things that you've been doing. You're very handy, and it's helpful to people like me who are not. So I appreciate it. I see that Patricia has her hand up. Oh, go ahead.
I might have to go get some friction tape. It seems like it's a one-stop thing you can use for so many different things.
Yeah.
So thanks for that tip.
Right.
There's
Patricia.
another.
Oh, sorry.
There's another one. It's a little expensive, but like if you have like a coffee mug or something like that, it's washable. It's I don't have any, but it's called cat tongue tape. That's the way it sounds, cat tongue tape. And if you have like a coffee cup, like I have a mug. I put my hand in it, so but the cat tongue tape, it's clear, and you just wrap it around your coffee mug or your water glass, and it's when you grab it, it's like sticks there, and it's clear. Like I said, you put it in the dishwasher, but it's called cat tongue tape. And in my boat, I have one of them, and it's a can cooler, but it doesn't. It's so big I can't pick it up, so I wrap that thing like in 3 spirals around so I can pick it up. This has a lot of uses. Anything you need a grip on, your lawnmower handle, your cane, whatever. I mean, you can use it. And in this whole roll, at the hardware store, is $1.99, so $2. My computer's trying to put me back in the meeting.
Uh-oh. Thanks,
right.
Larry. For the privacy of our members, we have stopped the recording here. We hope you enjoyed this session with Larry M., who's living with inclusion body myositis, and sharing his adaptations to make his life easier and also to increase his ability to exercise. If you're interested in this topic and learning more, we do intend to have other sessions, and we encourage you to join us. Remember, safety first. Please check with your doctor before starting any new treatments, exercise regimens, or supplements. And please remember to add the supplements that you take to your medication list. It's been a pleasure being with you today, and I hope to see you soon.